Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Clear Process Solutions CPS WebTips. Again, this will be on the Precisely Automate platform, and this is the conclusion of our Demystifying the Form Process Launch plugin series, part 3. And what we're going to be talking about today is the workflow configuration for the Form Process Launch plugin in both the Foundation and Evolve platforms, or versions of the platform, if you will. So what we have here is foundation. So we'll start in foundation because there's some nuances here that we want to talk about, right? So in foundation, we have a pre-launch wait in our child because we were launching, in our example here, we're launching the same solution, right? So our parent solution is also our child solution. We're launching the same one. So we have this pre-launch wait because it is also a child solution. So we need to have that 1 minute wait to kind of let the form name control run, do some settings and things like that that we've talked about before. That is the same whether it's Foundation or Evolve. We need to have this, okay? Where things differentiate is in Foundation, we need to have a value setter to potentially set the form name field. Now, this would also be something you might want to do in Evolve if you're using form fields in your form name. So if your form name template is pulling something in like say plant or material number or customer number or something like that that doesn't get that's not automatically available when the form originally opens, we'll need to set that value in the workflow so that your form name can get set correctly. And then in Foundation, we need to set a couple of columns in the SharePoint list. So we're going to show the parameters here. We need to set the form ID and the title to the value from your form name. Okay. And then we have this rename process, and that's actually the name of the plugin. And basically what we're saying is rename my process to my form name, the value that's set in your form name field in your solution. These things do not necessarily have to happen in Evolve, especially these last two. So just wanted to point that out. Another key thing that we need to have from a plugin perspective is after we launch the process, after the child or the form process launch plugin runs, we need to have a post-launch wait. And we typically set both of these waits, the pre and the post, to just 1 minute. That's about all it should take so that the back-end system has the time it needs to set fields and do all the computing necessary to properly launch the plugin. So after the plugin, we need to wait. In the child process, the child solution, we need to wait immediately after the start. And that will make sure that our process is launched correctly. The other thing that we've kind of touched on a little bit in the previous two sessions is this requester swim lane, okay? So I think I'll show this in Evolve. So I'll jump over to Evolve. And again, this is the parent solution in Evolve. And then our version, our example in Evolve, we're actually launching a different solution as the child process. And that's right here. This is our child process. Okay, so we see child here. Okay, there's our pre-launch wait right after the start in our child. And then if we go back to the parent, here's our process launch plugin, and then here's our post wait. So we can see in the parent, we just have our standard swim lanes. I don't have any extra swim lanes in here. These are the out-of-the-box swim lanes, the originator and the process owner. When I launch this process in Evolve, I'm the originator. But when the child process gets launched, it's done by the system account, the admin account in your Evolve environment. So in the child solution, this originator swim lane will be set to, you guessed it, the Evolve admin account. So if I need to do tasks as the originator in the child process, I can't have those tasks up in this swim lane because those tasks won't get assigned to me. They will get assigned to the system account and go nowhere. So we basically create this requester swim lane. You could call it whatever you want. You can configure the name just like any other swim lane. And we resolve that in the plugin of the parent in the node for our process launch plugin right here. And the way we're doing that in this case is through a reference data list. You could do it through an app group. You could do it through a different reference data list specifically. But the point is, in the child process, you have to have that swim lane so that you can set your originator somewhere in this process. And it doesn't have to be you setting an originator here. You can pick another swim lane and maybe the originator is not involved in the child process, so you don't need to do that. But you have to resolve one swim lane so that the process can get started and get to somebody where a form task can be opened. So it could be just the next person, and you could specify that in your process launch plugin, which swim lane you're going to resolve. Okay. And then that's really it. I mean, that kind of ties everything up. And we've talked about all the different things that we need to do um, to get a process launch to work within Evolve and within Foundation. Um, so it's a complicated thing, but I think if you look back on these videos, you can see enough to understand how it could work um, and how you could make it work and then have more modular solutions, um, which are easier, obviously, to maintain and enhance later on down the road when you don't have to do as much testing because they're less complex, and your solutions can be more modular, and that's generally a good approach to have towards solution development. So I hope that was helpful. Probably could have tagged that on to the last one, but the last one was quite a long session. We had to get through a lot with the parameters. Um, if you have any questions or would like to talk to somebody at Clear Process Solution about how we can help you make the complex simple and help optimize your SAP environment with the Automate Foundation platforms, here's our contact information. This is how you get in touch with us. We're more than happy to help. We have a team of experts that can do really anything with this platform. So feel free to reach out to us. Thanks for listening to the whole series and our session today. Really appreciate your time and attention. Hopefully this was helpful. And thank you and have a great rest of your day.